The fact that we have two courts, not one, criminal and civil, being used against one man because they cannot beat him in the polls is a disgrace to the American judicial system. He should not have two teams of lawyers here today. He should not even be here today because he did nothing wrong. It is the epitome of a witch hunt. I just left where a judge asked us whether our cash bond, cash, sitting in. Miss James wanted to argue and say that our cash somehow isn't green enough. We wasted time. The judge made a comment saying he thought that money market accounts could go down under the amount. He doesn't even understand basic principles of finance. But this was the man that decided that we owed money and my client committed fraud. We are going to attack every single one. 1 hour, the Attorney General and that judge realized quickly that they had no idea what they were talking about. We came to an agreement that everything would be the same, we would modify terms, and that was it. This is where your taxpayer dollars are going, America. Right here. Witch hunt after witch hunt. President Trump's company was worth more in that case than it is now. And now what? We're here because of something that happened when he was in the White House that wasn't even wrong. It was not wrong. You hire lawyers to solve problems, lawyers solve those problems, you pay them. That's it. This is a joke. It's an affront to the American Constitution. It's an affront to our judicial system. And it's an affront to every lawyer that cares about their license, that cares about what is right and wrong. I am sick of coming in front of the press and saying this, but you have to because you people need to understand what is going on. God forbid you put an accounting thing in for legal counsel. It's legal counsel. And now our taxpayer dollars, my time, our attorney's fees, are all here because they're afraid of 2024. And you know what? They should be.
To bullies. We've got to stand up to an administration which is too male, too pale, and too...
Welcome back. Alina Habba demand John Stewart be investigated makes me so angry. I don't know if you have seen the whole segment. When you go down this article recently put out by Newsweek, Donald Trump lawyer has slammed John Stewart not facing charges for selling his home for more than its assessed value when compared to her client's legal woes. The comedian spoke about former President Trump's fraud case on a recent episode of Comedy Central, The Daily Show. Now taking a look at what Trump lawyer said here, it makes a lot of sense. Before I say anything, it will be important I play this video so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. But before I do that, if you're not subscribed to this channel, please endeavor to do that.
John Stewart, okay? John Stewart's story comes out. I think it's a New York Post story, page 11 if you guys want to go to it. Okay, so John Stewart found to have overvalued his New York City home, Alina, by 829%.
What?
After labeling Trump's civil case not victimless, John Stewart criticized Trump's civil case over inflated property values, stating this has never been prosecuted. In response to experts framing the case as non-harmful, it was revealed that Stewart's Tribeca duplex sold for $17.5 million in 2014, a staggering 829% more than assessed value at $1.882 million. Internet sleuths uncovered Stewart's property history, leading to accusations of hypocrisy. Stewart's penthouse sale price after far exceeded its assessed value, raising questions about his own benefit from overvaluation, with political commentator Tim Pool alleging, did John Stewart commit fraud when he sold his penthouse for $17.5 million? If that's the case, Rob, is this the clip or what is this here?
This is a clip of John Stewart talking about the civil fraud case and how it's not a victimless crime.
Go ahead and play this clip, Rob.
Because they are not victimless crime. What's happened to our country? It's as though you can't even commit financial fraud anymore. You can't inflate the value of your properties when you need a loan and then deflate it with taxes. I mean, the next thing you know, they're going to send you to jail instead of your lawyer and your accountant and your campaign manager and everyone else around you. The idea that someone may face accountability who's that rich and powerful is outrageous. And this country shouldn't stand for it. I mean, our Congress trades stocks with information they get making laws, and they do it to great success. And they won't stop it because they're the ones in charge of making the law about it. So the system becomes incentivized for corruption. And this is part of a different Trump fraud case, but avoiding taxes hurts all of us. Donald Trump shenanigans cost the city of New York.
Right there.
Yeah.
So
Oh my
how
God.
different is this case versus what they're accusing Trump of doing?
I don't even know where to start with it.
You almost turned into Anderson Cooper right
I
there.
almost.
Yeah.
I'm so angry by watching that. I actually hadn't seen that. I heard the story.
Yes, Alina Habba is on fire. She recently had this interview and she said a lot of things that are vital important. We take an exclusive look into what is going on exactly. I believe you have seen a lot of video surface on social media. Even John Stewart recently had a segment where he tried to go after Trump. A minute after, a lot of articles surface on social media exposing who he is.
I'm so angry by watching that. I actually hadn't seen that. I heard the story. It's no different, but the reality is that Trump actually didn't. If anything, his properties were undervalued. He put Doral at a couple, I don't even remember the numbers, but Doral's worth way more than it was on there. I mean, the statements were actually undervalued, and his statements were prepared by an accounting firm, not a small accounting firm, a major accounting firm, who put a cover sheet saying, do your own due diligence, folks, but this is what we estimate we're worth. Just like anybody in New York. It's like, okay, let's even say in some made up land, the numbers were high, which they weren't. Let's say that, okay? Then you got a sheet that says right on the front, excuse me, do your own due diligence. On top of that, who's President Trump going to? Deutsche Bank. He's right. You know what, John Stewart, the only thing that was right, you're right. He went to Deutsche Bank. He didn't go to a mom and pop. He went to one of the highest regulated banks to get loans that he actually didn't need. It was solely because of, mortgage. It's what you do. It's how you make money. It's better to have a mortgage sometimes when you don't need it. And they got paid off early. They made money. Okay. And who is the victim? Now, in his case, I want to see what they do with it. Is he going to be investigated for 3 years? Where are you, Tish?
Yeah.
Where are you at?
Yeah.
You're going to go after your own? No one is above the law.
Yeah.
Show me.
Yep. Exactly.
Show me.
And by the way, we can help her. If Letitia James is watching.
That clip should be used in her case against him. By the way, let me
100%.
help you, Letitia.
Yeah.
You should play that video. I'm sure you'll be allowed to play videos. I'm not, but you will. Let's see it happen.
Yeah.
Let's see. No one is above the law. I can't, when I hear that, the hypocrisy in that statement, show me. 829% overvalue of his New York City home. And that's a personal profit. Why don't they use the same consumer statute against him like they used against Trump?
Before you try to wipe something on somebody's eyes, check yours. He didn't bother to check that. Recent, we have now seen what he did. He overvalued his property and he's still having voice to speak up. That is the most annoying part in this, because he's a Democrat. Nobody will investigate them. Nobody will do anything. Reasons you see them still have a voice. Alina Habba said a lot of things on this video which I saw to be important. We should really dive into it. I did not want to do the follow-up of this video, but when I looked through and the way a lot of people are reacting on social media, I said we should do that. When you go down on this article, now Trump lawyer Alina Habba has weighed in on the issue. I don't know where to start with. Habba said on Tuesday episode of the PPD podcast, she defended Trump first by alleging his property were undervalued, which were prepared by a major accounting firm, which was the correct due diligence. Habba then argued that the reason Trump even applied for loans he actually didn't need was because it's better to have a mortgage and it is how you make money. She also mimicked U.S. Attorney General Letitia James, who had prosecuted Trump on the fraud charges, and her much repeated refrain that nobody is above the law, and called on her to prosecute Stewart over the sales of his apartment. Why don't they use the same consumer statute against him like they use against Trump? Habba question. That is it. she said the truth here. If you are able to use that, do the same thing here. We will end up not even seeing her acting in this case. That was her main aim, to go after Trump. So she has achieved that. What next? I'm just asking, what next? Thank you guys for always being there, sharing out my videos. God bless you abundantly.
Did you start having this opinion?
But it was 2017, and really it was the Trump campaign. It was